Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Hormones Happen. I'm your host, Jeremiah, also known as the Optimized NP on TikTok. And today I'm joined by someone who's transforming what fitness looks and feels like for women here in Pueblo, Colorado. She's a figure and bikini class competitor, a personal trainer, and the owner of Fervor Women's Fitness Studio. Tamara Bowman, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Jeremiah. Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been trying to get you on for a while because I think that this is huge for a lot of people who are intimidated to go to the gym, that just don't know how to get started, where to go. And so let's just kind of start the conversation with what started your fitness journey and how did it lead you to where you're at right now?
Right. Actually, my fitness journey started with needing an outlet, to be honest. I was looking for something, I was going through something at that particular time in my life and couldn't afford therapy. So I chose the gym, and I've always loved fitness all of my life. It happened in a time where I was going to have a little more time, but I was also willing to look at my schedule and see where I could fit it in. I wanted to make it a part of my life. I wanted to make it part of life's journey. So I wanted to make my health and wellness look full circle, not only look full circle, but be full circle, where exercise really became a prescription for my life.
Sure. I hear you 100%. If I don't go to the gym first thing in the morning, I am useless to the world, right?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, our health comes first. And if our health is not in check, doesn't matter what obstacles we have, that health needs to be on point. Our body, our mind will prioritize that. So, I mean, you've been pretty deep into fitness. You've actually competed at a competitive level. How does that progress from going from, hey, this is for my mental health to, hey, now I'm going to step on stage in some pretty big competitions?
Well, that was really a push. There was a gym I was going to, invited by a friend. So I really started out as a runner. I was a runner and I loved running. I used it for thought and things like that. But I also decided I wanted to build muscle with a push from my husband. And so I was invited to go to a gym with my friend. And little by little, because of the work that I was doing, yes, my body started transforming. So then I was invited to compete, which was totally out of my comfort realm. And so I I decided to go for it with the push of some friends and family. And what that did for me really was it helped me to see what I can do, the things I can do that I never thought I could. And it really gave me the confidence, not just inside the gym, but again, full circle, just life in general, meeting the challenges that we have in life on the job, in our family, raising kids, all of those things. It just created a exercise, if you will, for challenge.
I think that's a fantastic crossover to life because there's not always motivation, right? There are mornings where you wake up, it's cold, it's quiet, it's dark. You don't want to go to the gym, but you
Right.
do it because motivation is typically just a fleeting thought. It's nice, it's cool when motivation's there, but hey, when motivation's not there, guess what? That's when consistency has to kick on. And you do it
Yes.
anyway. You do it tired, you do it
Yes.
sad, you do it mad. You just do it. And that's how
Exactly.
progress is built. So, what made you decide to open up the studio? And what would you say separates Fervor Fitness from other gyms?
Yeah. So being in the local gym, I started that journey with running, then weight training, then competing, like you mentioned. And in competing, I started kind of working out in a lot of gyms. And I started being asked, am I a trainer? And so being asked that over and over, I thought, why aren't I? Why aren't I? But also in the gym, being asked that, particularly by women, I noticed that they wanted to go in there. There was a passion to take care of themselves, to exercise, but I noticed the timidity in the local gyms, just being uncomfortable, being around a lot of people and being concerned about, if you're being watched, just all of those things that go with being around a lot of people, but fitness in particular can make you feel uncomfortable. So I just wanted to create a place for women where they could go and not worry about who's watching, not worry about even if they're doing something right form. We definitely work with form. I wanted to create a space for women where all levels of women could go and feel comfortable learning and growing and meeting their goals. And so that's what Fervor is. Fervor is a place where women can go at any fitness level and progress. So they don't, and the other good thing about Fervor is that they can go in there and not have to worry about the workout, right? So that's the other thing about the local gym is once you get in there, what am I going to do when I get in there? Do I want to get on the treadmill? Do I want to do cables today? Do I want to lift some dumbbells? Well, when you go into Fervor, the workout is created for you. So all you have to do is bring yourself, bring your water, bring your towel, and
Yep.
participate. Yeah, and, the
Wow.
other thing
Couldn't be
yeah,
easier.
so it is, and it just takes the stress off, and then you're among other women who are like-minded, who have, also into wellness and fitness, but there's no competition there, so each woman there is unique, each woman there is at a different level, and everyone respects and appreciates that, and we could just learn from each other that way.
It sounds like a very supportive community is what you've built. You built a community of people who are like-minded and they support each other, and
Right,
that's huge.
right,
Even when I go to a new gym somewhere else, you always kind of feel like, okay, I'm being watched. I'm the outsider. You're always the outsider the first time you go anywhere. And so
right,
it's always kind of nerve-wracking. And for someone that has never gone to the gym, it could take a lot of courage to be able to muster up the strength to actually get in. But then, going one step further, then what do I do, right? I have no working
exactly.
knowledge of how to exercise. I've never made a workout plan. And so how easy is it that you go, the classes are there already made, tailored to you, and you're with like-minded individuals. I think that that's an absolute recipe for success.
Exactly.
What would you say, like, what do you believe women truly need in their 30s, 40s, 50s to feel strong, confident, and overall in control of their health?
They need a routine or but I guess better what I'm trying to say is it needs to be um a part of their life. Even I used to do this. You would say, okay, maybe you're a faith person, you're spiritual, and we separate all these things. We separate, our spirituality from our family, from our friends, from our fitness life, and everything is really full circle because when you start separating things, you start leaving some things out, right? So if you just make fitness a part of your life like breathing or going to work every day. This is one thing that I always tell the ladies, you'll go to work every day or even those that are going to college, you'll do that for yourself, right? So why not make the appointment for yourself to take care of yourself so that you can do all those things. So the fitness
Absolutely.
the fitness aspect is very important in your life. And it's not just for having a six pack or having the biceps and this and that. I mean, that's going to come with the discipline and with the consistency anyway. But what fitness is going to do for a woman is it's going to relieve some stress, right? There's stresses every day.
Huge.
Self-confidence, some of us can be timid on the job or just working on some assertiveness. I'm not saying, just be all out. You got to just speak your mind with everything. I'm just saying that I come from being timid. I just grew up that way. I was more shy. So this is not about, just speaking your mind whenever you want to speak it. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that there's certain things that happen in life that we have to just kind of be more brave about, have more courage about. And working out, exercising gives you that. It gives you more confidence, it gives you self-confidence, and then it gives you longevity, of course, right? Who doesn't want to live longer? It gives
Yeah.
us, it gives us that taking care of our heart and feeding ourselves well to take care of all the other things of our body, our nervous system, all of those things come into play with fitness. And then it can actually give you some peace because it's an outlet. Some women prefer to work out at the end of the day when their day is done. Some women prefer to work out at the beginning of the day. Let's get it done. Let's get energized and ready for the day. So it just kind of depends on what you need, but it's definitely an outlet or a setup for your day.
Absolutely. I mean, how can exercise and fitness not build confidence? Because at
Mhm,
the end of the day, you're doing something intentionally that's uncomfortable.
mhm,
You're intentionally making yourself uncomfortable to be better, to overcome this. You start with a specific weight, right? Let's say you're doing bicep curls. Eventually, you go to a heavier weight. You've overcome
mhm.
that weight that you started with. That's the whole
Right.
point is you're overcoming obstacles. You
Yes.
do that time and time again. You're just stacking successes day after day. And once it builds into a routine, now it's a part of your personality. It's a part of who you are. Part of who you are is I overcome obstacles. And that is such a powerful thing for you mentally because when you come against another obstacle outside of the gym, well, guess what? This is just another day at the gym for me, just in a different capacity, right? And
Exactly.
not to
Exactly.
mention the physical benefits. I
Mhm,
tell women and men all the time, it is so incredibly important to weight train. You gotta
mhm.
weight train because we want bone densities. We want muscles because our longevity is dependent on our ability to maintain muscle mass. That is
Correct.
so important in regulating our glucose, our insulin resistance. It is paramount for men and women, right? Bone densities, especially with women as we get older, osteoporosis is a real concern, right? How do we combat that? Physical fitness. That's it. Physical fitness, guys. As simple as that is, it is so profoundly important. Now, with this culture that you've built at the gym, you've definitely created a safe haven for a lot of women. What are some specific aspects that you've focused on in order to be able to provide that?
Concentrating on specific workouts for women because I think men and women work out differently. In fact, I have some women come that usually worked out with their husbands and they just felt like maybe they needed something different because the things that they were doing were not complementary to their body. I just concentrated on those kind of movements, functional daily movements. And so we just do workouts that are excellent for everyday living, functional training. So that's one of the things. The other thing that's really sweet, I think, about what we have there is just to make it clear, we are not male bashers at all. A lot of us are married. I do have some single women there. We just want a safe space, just like you said, for women to go and work out and not be intimidated, not feel like they have to compete and work at their own level. The other wonderful thing about it is that a lot of the women there that are married or the support from their significant other is amazing. And
Mhm.
I think it's because it's just, how can I say? It's just an environment that they're willing to support. And so when the women have that support, they're more likely to just start and catapult, you know. When there's
Mhm.
when there's question about where they're going and why they're going, just being honest, it's harder for a woman to maintain that journey. But when she's going
Sure.
somewhere she enjoys and there's camaraderie there, and then the spouse, your significant other, support that, they can only win. They can only win. So,
Yep, absolutely. And I've noticed that, being in a lot of different fitness circles, that there's a huge benefit to having that camaraderie that, hey, I'm
yeah,
excited to go see so and so, right? So we can talk about some things. It's more than just the gym. It's also, there's a social aspect to it too, which is very important for our overall health. And you make a great point. I've tried to work out with my wife before and we train very differently. It never goes well, right? So this is a huge solution to a massive pain point to where it's like one spouse is dragging the other one to a gym that they don't want to be at and kind of going
right.
through a routine they don't want to
I've
be
heard
at.
that.
And it's like, oh my
Yes.
God,
I've heard that many
I see
times.
it all the time. Yeah, absolutely. My wife, she prefers more like the high intensity interval type trainings. I'm very into, compounded lifts. We don't work out together because it never goes well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, to be able to be with like-minded individuals and being able to push each other and see essentially your friends time after time, it really helps because you build each other up. It's not necessarily, like you said, a competition of, I'm willing to hurt myself to beat this person. It sounds like the classes that you have are really tailored towards building not just your confidence in yourself, but in building teams as well. So
Yes.
what does your class schedule look like? What type of classes do you offer?
So we offer strength training classes. I do offer HIIT classes. We have a body sculpt class, which is yoga with weights. It's an awesome class. And the way I format those classes is I have HIIT class on Monday, weight training, strength training on Tuesday, another HIIT class on Wednesday, strength training on Thursday, and a HIIT on Friday. So I have two different instructors too. So there's three of us. But the format that I use, for instance, I have a new workout every month. So we're getting ready to, well, November's almost over. So in December, as I'm creating these workouts, I have a workout specifically for each day of the week. And each week it's the same workout. So the women become familiar with that workout. Plus they can track their progress. So for instance,
Right.
December's Monday workout is going to be the same every Monday. Every Tuesday, that's going to be the same. So they go in knowing basically after the first week what they're going to be doing the next few weeks. And they become acclimated with that. They can come in and they know exactly what weights they're going to use. They already have a goal in mind of, am I going to go faster? Am I going to lift heavier? What am I going to do here? And I also rotate those days, as you know, to take a break from the weight training, get some cardio in, right?
Mhm.
So it's kind of like a every other day
Sure.
format is how it works.
Wow, I love that. Plus, it gives them a baseline, right?
Right.
They have something to compare to. That very first workout's kicking their butt, right? That's where they have to start building up that resistance. And then the next workout, they're like, okay, I kind of have a little bit of a better plan this time. And then you just get better and better and better. And by the time they become so proficient, guess what? New workout. It's time to
Right.
start over and
Exactly.
rebuild.
Start over.
Yeah.
Yes. And so they work real hard during the week. And so at the end of the week, we offer two classes. One is a HIIT class. It's at 7 a.m. So in answer to your question before, I have a 5 a.m. class, a lunch crunch class, which is at 12:30, and an evening class, which is at 5:30. That's Monday through Thursday. On Fridays, because of the work they've done all week long, we offer it's called the reset. And what one of my instructors does is she does a reset, a recovery workout with them, which is stretching. There's some yoga involved and breath work even. And that's on Friday morning. And then we also have a body weight hit class on Friday. So since we've picked the weights up all week long, we keep them down for a day, and we do strictly body weight hit. And so that's mostly cardio with body weight.
That's a fantastic combination too. Just really spike that metabolism up,
Mhm.
really start burning those calories. And honestly, it feels good to kind of
Yeah,
go between the two, right?
right,
If it's a good combination.
right,
Now, you've trained and you've seen a lot of women come through the gym. So, from your experience, what separates someone who has great long term success from someone who struggles with, say, consistency? Like, what specific traits have you seen to someone that maintains that long term consistency, has those wonderful results versus someone that just really struggles? What does that
right.
look like?
That's a good question. And from what I've observed, it's really back to allowing yourself to take care of yourself. So with the consistency, the longevity in keeping your fitness journey is allowing yourself to keep that appointment. It's so important. I know that family is important. I do. I have grandbabies now. I know that work is important. I know that our spouses are important if you have one. But because of that, that's why it's important for you to take care of yourself and keep that appointment. And sometimes, Jeremiah, that means saying no to some of those things. So what I notice in just, trying to keep a schedule is things can pop up, right? And we will cancel so fast in what we have scheduled for ourselves. Like I've seen women sit down and say, okay, on Monday, I'm going to work out on they'll say they'll commit to, 2, 3, 4 days of workout a week, but let someone call them and say, oh, I need this or this or that. And they'll drop everything to go do that. And I'm not saying that what that call was or what that text was could have been important. I mean, I know there's life and death situations, but if it's something that can wait for 45 minutes until you're done, just practice that. Just practice that for a little while. And I promise you, it'll get better. It's hard to say no. It's hard to say no, especially to, like I said, family and friends. But if it's not planned and you have your plan, I'm just encouraging women to keep your schedule when it includes your wellness journey for yourself.
Yes, it is okay to prioritize yourself. There's
Yes.
nothing wrong with that. People think it's selfish, but the reality is, if you're not taking the best care of yourself, you have nothing to give everyone else. That's it. You can
Right.
only take care of the people around you as good as you can take care of yourself, because you're giving pieces of yourself away. But if you have nothing to give, guess what, guys? No one wins. And I
Right.
think that a lot of us have a problem with that, because it's like, man, I really want to go to the gym, but I also have this other thing that I need to do. And for me, honestly, it's a pretty easy decision now. I'm going to the gym. I'm always choosing the gym. I can't help it. For me, it's such a part of my life. But for someone who's just starting, I can see where that struggle comes into play. And they'll skip the gym, and then all of a sudden, maybe they're like, maybe I don't need the gym today too. And that's where I see a lot of people will fall
Yeah.
off, because you're not so dedicated to improving yourself, because you're so busy prioritizing other people.
Right. And the other good thing about group fitness is just that. So that's the other thing I saw in the local gym, and not downplaying local gyms at all. But we see people on their phones, right? So they're working out by
All the time.
themselves. They're working out by themselves. They get a text message. There's that bing, right? Got to look at it. Bing, got an email, got to look at it. When you're in group fitness, so I have cubbies at the studio. The ladies put their purses in there, they put their phones in there, and it's class. And the phone is down. It's all about them. And so there's not that interruption. They truly do get that time for themselves. So that's the other good thing about group fitness.
That's huge. Yeah, because I mean, I've talked about it ad nauseum. It's such a pet peeve of mine that you'll
Mhm.
go all the way to the gym just to sit on your phone. It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Right, right.
We're here for progress. You know what I mean? But
Exactly.
I can definitely see how that distraction becomes an issue. Plus, with the group classes, guess what? You've got accountability, because someone's going to notice you're not there. Someone's going to notice, hey, you haven't been showing up lately. Like, is everything okay? Or, are you just being lazy? Like,
And
what's
they
going on?
do,
You're
they
always going to
do.
wonder.
Yes,
Of
they do
course, you
ask
got
for each
to.
other. Yeah, they definitely ask for each other when you don't see one or the other. Yeah.
As far as you and I go, we're both very similar in the fact that we were basically really good at what we did, operators essentially, and we started businesses. And I'm sure I didn't. I'm sure you probably had limited business knowledge too. It was kind of like, whoa, this is just a huge, new adventure for us. What are some of the things you found to be an unexpected challenge in being a business owner as well?
Probably as a business owner, I would say back to time, managing time, how much time do you put into your business? There's passion in owning a business and running a business. And so the balance, working on the balance of it all, I would say is the most challenging.
Huge. And do you feel that fitness helps you to be a better business owner?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, it's something that I hope trickles down into the women that I instruct. Is you said it a little bit earlier, that it helps with everything we do in life. And that's one of the things that I say in the studio is, when we're doing something hard, I tell them, I know you can do this. I know you've done harder, because it's true, men or a woman,
Yeah.
we've all done something harder than trying to get that last rep in. Right? And so,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the way I see it, I wake up pretty early. I wake up about 2:15 in the morning.
Mm.
I'm at the gym by about 3. And the reason I do that is It's not fun. It's not easy. I'm always tired, but when I'm done, everything after that is a cherry on top. The hardest thing has already been done today. The biggest thing I didn't want to do has already been done today. And so
Mhm.
everything else, whatever comes throughout the rest of the day, I can already handle it. I already know that. And so it's just about finding those things. You start to crave difficult things and it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, I want a little bit more of a challenge because I can handle it. And just like with the weights at the gym, how you start lifting heavier weights, you start taking on more exciting projects, right? As a business owner, there are a lot of things we have to wear many hats. And sometimes it can be very intimidating for us, just like when someone's first stepping into the gym. And so it's so applicable to say, hey, you know what? I'm familiar with this feeling. I know what self doubt feels like, and I know how to overcome this. I know that hard work is going to overcome any degree of self doubt. If there's a woman out there listening who feels stuck, overwhelmed, or just unsure where to start, what do you want her to know?
I want her to know that if she takes it day by day, that she can make a fitness journey a part of her life. It's taking it one day at a time. It's eliminating or adding something one at a time. Go all for it all at once. I think that's kind of what can cause that burnout. But when you make small changes in your life and you're consistent with those small changes, pretty soon you've made a whole bunch of changes before you even realize it. And it's just a part of life. It just becomes a part of life. But it's just taking one day at a time, one day at a time. And, one day you might have a slip up, but you just get back up again. You do it again. We all have them. We all have them. And you just keep doing it. You just keep doing it every day. Just like you would go to work, like how we talked about earlier, just like how you would go to school. You're not going to miss that class because you want that degree. Well, this is the same thing. You want your health, you want that fitness, you want longevity. And there's a lot of reasons why you want to be healthy. So you just take it one day at a time, one step at a time, and you stay consistent. And pretty soon when you look back, you've done so much. You've done so much.
I love it. I love it. So we're going to have all the information to the studio, to you within the description, but where can people connect with you, join a class, or even just learn more about the studio?
Yeah. So you can look on my website, www.fervorstudio.com. You can reach out to me on my email. It's fitness@fervorstudio.com. And you can also Google the studio. Just hop on the internet, put in Fervor Women's, and then it'll pop right up. You'll see it. And you can connect there also. Facebook, Fervor Studio, and Instagram. Yeah.
Do you have a TikTok?
I just started one. I did, and it's also Fervor Women's Studio. Yeah.
There you go. Good. TikTok's the new thing. You got to have a TikTok. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I have no doubt in my mind this is going to help a lot of women out there.
Thank you so much, Jeremiah, for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely.